What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Phil, as always, and today I'm joined by a cat who just is demanding attention right now when I'm trying to film. He's cute. But today I wanted to go over something I've been thinking about for a while, and that is sequels to games that I really, really want, to put it bluntly. I think these are 6 games. I originally was going to do 5, but then I decided to say screw it, 6, because I thought of another one the last second. These are 6 sequels that really should have happened, but for some stupid reason, like companies not wanting to put any money towards, even though they made plenty of money, or disappointing sales because the publisher decided to mess with the foundation of the game. Sorry, triggered. But anyway, me and Simone here, hi Simone, are going to talk to you about the 6 games that should have gotten sequels but didn't. So, check it out. The first game I want to talk about on this list is Bulletstorm. This game came out back in 2011, originally created by People Can Fly and published by EA. I hate EA. They've destroyed so many of my favorite franchises, but this was one of the most surprising, fun games that I got to play during that time frame. And it was essentially just a first-person style shooter. You're trying to get every single one of your kills, you want to make it as stylish and crazy as possible to get those higher scores. Like, as you can see here, you're sliding around, you can knock people, you can slide into people, kick them off buildings, you can kick them in the air and then shoot them in the crotch if you wanted to. It was such a fun, unique type of game, and it didn't sell well, unfortunately. But even though it was reviewed fairly well, in my notes here, looks like it was, the average score was about 8 out of 10. It was a solid game, solid foundation. Dialogue, was a little childish, a little, tough, musclehead lingo, but by 2013, unfortunately, it only sold about a little under 1 million copies. So unfortunately, even though it reviewed fairly well, it didn't sell a lot. But it did get a remaster that came out quite a few years later under Gearbox. Essentially, Gearbox did, they put the money forward to create a remaster, and what they did in this remaster was they actually put a completely new mode in there. The Duke Nukem Tour, I believe is what it was called. You essentially got to play the entire game as Duke Nukem. He was in all of the cutscenes, he was voiced by the original actor, I believe, and it basically changed the game. It leaned into the silliness of it, and I honestly think playing as Duke Nukem is way better and puts the game even higher on the scale of, just an awesome, goofy, fun game. Unfortunately, there was a sequel planned, but it was pushed to the sidelines so that People Can Fly can work on Gears of War Judgment. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense with the way Gears of War Judgment came out. It was a lot more of a point-based Gears of War game than the previous ones. They keep talking about making a sequel, but unfortunately, nothing's come about it. But I would love if they came out with a sequel to this game. Next up on my list is LA Noire. Now, this game was originally developed and published by Rockstar, and it was a very different game than what they were used to. You got to play as the cop, solving crimes and murders and just arson cases, everything. A little bit of everything. You got to go to the traffic desk, arson, homicide, narcotics, and it was such a cool experience. Growing up, I did want to be a detective. And playing this game really was a dream of mine to play this type of game. And there really isn't a whole lot of games like this, where you are just a normal guy trying to solve mysteries, trying to solve just murder. Like, it's so sad that really we've gotten nothing like this in the past. Since then. The game did review fairly well. Average review score was about an 8 out of 10. And they used this amazing face capture technology to make the facial animations more lifelike, because that was one of the mechanics of the game. You needed to read their facial expressions, read their body movements, just figure out if they were lying, if they were telling the truth. And it was such a integral part of the game, and they spent a lot of money on that. But I think it was well worth it, because I'm still not great at reading facial features. I'm not good at reading faces, because there are still some levels in this game that I fail, interrogations that I fail. And it gave you another open world to explore, but unfortunately there really wasn't a whole lot to do in that open world. This really was just driving around, looking at things, and then doing the missions to interrogate people, like Cole Phelps is doing right here. The game actually sold fairly well. I couldn't find exact numbers, but at least what I could find here was that combining the original sales and the re-release they did back a couple years ago, the game by 2017 sold a grand total of about 7.5 million copies. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's the most copies sold on any of the games on this list that I made here. There was a spiritual successor in development called the Horror of the Orient. Sorry. It was announced back in 2011, and Team Bondi, however you phrase it, said that the game would be easier to make since the technology was already there. Unfortunately, the game was canceled back in 2016. There wasn't really a whole lot of reasons I could find online, but it's very unfortunate that this game never got a sequel that it deserved, and Rockstar never tried to take this and expand upon it, And that's just a damn shame. But it's one of those hidden gems that I feel like not a whole lot of games can say they're like, There's not a similar game to it. Alright, now this is going to be controversial. Controversial? Sorry, I cannot talk today for some reason. But I love the Dead Space trilogy. They are fantastic games, and I think that EA destroyed them because they tried to expand the audience and tried to make it more of a, hey, this is a game anybody can play. No, that's not what Dead Space was meant to be. But anyway, obviously Dead Space 3 is considered the black sheep of the family. It is the worst reviewed game in the series and the most universally hated. And I gotta say, I understand why people don't like it. It very much is not a horror game anymore, especially with the co-op aspect. But you know what? It is a damn fun game. Me and my friend Luca are actually replaying this game currently right now on PC, and we are having a great time doing it. We're playing on a nightmare mode, which means we are trying to complete the game on the second to hardest difficulty, and it is tough. But anyway, this game, EA had unrealistic expectations when it came to this game. Basically, they said this game needed to sell 5 million copies in order to greenlight the sequel, Dead Space 4. And unfortunately, because there was a lot of controversy with the whole co-op aspect of the game, that unfortunately, as far as I can tell, and I've looked everywhere, I can only find two numbers. Within its first month, it sold 605,000 copies. And then in life total, I believe it only sold a little under 1 million. And unfortunately, EA's unrealistic expectations killed the Dead Space franchise because there was no way this game was going to sell 5 million. Everything I can tell shows here the second game only sold a little over 2 million. So there was no way the game was going to sell 5 million. And the fact that they tried to make it a type of game that the Call of Duty fans or the Gears of War fans, like the shooter bros would want to play, that was a stupid aspect of it. Because without playing the first two games, you're not really going to understand a lot what's going on in this game. So those guys who are not going to play the first two are not going to play the third one. But of course, EA thought they knew better and killed the franchise. But at the end of the day, The co-op is the most fun with this game. Playing with a good friend, the fact that when you play co-op, you actually get to experience a lot of side quests and a side story that you would not be able to experience, and it all focuses around Carver, Isaac's co-op partner in this game. Having you play as Carver and seeing things that are messing with his head that Isaac, the other player, cannot see is really a cool concept. And I really wish Dead Space 4 could have been released, especially with the ending to this game, really setting up Dead Space 4 and what could have happened. But unfortunately, EA killed another great franchise. We never got the fourth game, which honestly should have been, or it was setting up to be the finale of the Dead Space franchise. But we are getting that Dead Space remake coming out. I think it's either later this year or early next year in 2023. But I am super excited for that game, and I really wish people would give this game a chance. Find a friend, play it online, 360, PS3. It is worth it, 100%. And here is another game that I'm gonna get probably destroyed on in the comment section. DMC Devil May Cry. I liked this game a lot. Was it amazing? No. But was it fun, and the most fun I've had with a Devil May Cry game ever? Yes. Now, I'm not somebody that grew up with the original Devil May Cry games. I tried playing them when I got older, but I couldn't get into them. This game, on the other hand, I did get into. Because this is really my first experience playing a Devil May Cry game through and through. I've tried to play all the games, 1 through 4. And 4 was okay. Like, I got farther in 4 than the other games, but I couldn't get into it. I loved the whole, angel and devil aspect, and just the world they were building. It was a modern take on the Devil May Cry formula. And Ninja Theory, I believe the developers behind this game, did such a great job with the combat. It was fast, it was fluid, it got better. It was a little just a tad bit in the original, but the re-release fixed all the problems with it. It made it so much better. And unfortunately, all the Devil May Cry fans, well, I guess the hardcore Devil May Cry fans, shat on this game and essentially bullied Capcom and the director into making Devil May Cry 5. Now, once again, I have played Devil May Cry 5, and you know what? I didn't like it. I finished it. I thought the combat was incredibly slow. The world was bland. The story didn't make any sense to me. And I think that this was the superior game, but people didn't like Dante being messed with. And I get that from from a certain perspective. I get that. No one likes having their characters ruined, but I don't feel like they even gave this character a chance, And I do think it's kind of funny that they had that scene in the beginning where a white wig just happens to fly on his head and he looks just like original Dante. And, he made a joke about, oh, not on your life, not like he's ever going to have white hair. But you know what? At the end of the game, he got his white hair. This could have been a great start to a new Devil May Cry series, or even just a spin-off series, But didn't happen. Originally, the game total sales plus original sales plus the remake sales came up to about 3.7 million copies. In fact, the director of this game was super excited. Like, he worked on the Devil May Cry games for a long time, and he really liked this game. But when he went to Capcom and was like, "Hey, I want to make DMC 2. I got some great ideas," Capcom said no. Nobody liked it. 3.7 million is a good amount of sales in my opinion. They wouldn't let him make it. So they told him he could make another Devil May Cry game, but it had to be 5. Had to appease the original fans, and that's just disappointing. I'm glad you original fans got your game and you're liking it a whole lot, but us who are really excited for this game, we got shat on, so thanks. In fact, I watched a video recently talking about how this game was very similar. This game, Devil May Cry 5, took a lot of inspirations from this game, and it was eye-opening. But sad to say, this game will never get a sequel. Maybe it will, but knowing Capcom, they're scared to piss off the fans. But what about fans who like this one? Anyway, sad that we're never going to get a sequel to this game, but I liked it, and I think it's the better game, so sue me. Alright, and the fifth game on this list is Bully, another Rockstar game, kind of like, kids' first GTA. It is a very... It's a watered-down version of GTA in a lot of ways. You're playing as a delinquent who is forced to go to a boarding school, and he decides, you know what? He wants to be the new big man on top. And he's got to work his way through the different cliques, the nerds, the jocks, the greasers, and it's a fun little game, I really wish Rockstar would look at any of their other franchises and their IPs they have besides GTA and Red Dead Redemption, Do something different. Rockstar used to make a lot of different games, and now they focus on two games, mostly GTA, because GTA Online makes them way more money, so why release a new game? You can just milk the crap out of a online service. That's a whole nother argument there, but essentially Bully's original version sold 1.5 million copies, and that was on the PS2. The 360 remaster, Bully Scholarship Edition, came out and sold, unfortunately, only another 170,000 copies. I played it personally on the PS2, and then I bought the remaster for 360, and I still enjoyed this game. I think the remaster was kind of lazy in some ways, though. Not a true, dedicated remaster, but one of these days, I would really love to see Rockstar try again with Bully. Unfortunately, there was a sequel in development, but it turns out they scrapped it after about 18 months of development. And don't know why. It's like Rockstar makes so much money off the GTA Online and GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption, but they didn't want to spend the extra money to release this game, which was already in development, so. Solid game overall. If you can find it on 360, doubt you're going to find it on PS2 for... Actually, probably can find it cheap on PS2, but any newer console, you can play it on 360. Maybe PC, I'm not 100% sure of that, but definitely a fun game. I remember having a lot of fun with this growing up. And finally, the last game on this list, Knights of the Old Republic 2. The unasked for... Sorry, it was the unwanted stepchild of the family. And I say that because originally, the original developers, BioWare, who made Knights of the Old Republic 1, didn't really want to make a sequel. It felt like the story was pretty much wrapped up, but then this game comes out, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and essentially retcons a lot of the first game, with how the ending. A lot of people who chose the good ending of the game, where you save the Republic. Apparently, the canon ending is something along the lines of you won, but then immediately the Sith came back and wrecked everything, killing most of the Jedi off, and it's kind of like why do that? But anyway, originally the game sold 1.25 million copies as of 2008. This game was originally developed by Obsidian. Obsidian loves to take on RPGs, and they're really known for their releasing games in a very quick time frame, probably with a whole lot of crunch. The game did add a lot of cool things to KOTOR, but mainly it was just more KOTOR, and I think what a lot of people wanted at the time was more KOTOR. It added some more lore. You play as a brand new character, not the original character, and it talks about Revan, the main character from the first game. How he felt like there was something about Revan felt something, and he went to go figure out what it was. He went to go protect the Republic, and then was never seen again. When you talk to some of the older characters from the first game, they talk about how, Revan disappeared, went off, and was never seen again. That could have led to a lot of cool story bits. could have led into to a great third game where maybe you get to play as Revan again, or maybe this character or a new character that gets to team up with Revan. That would have been really cool. Unfortunately, even though KOTOR 3 was in development, it had to be scrapped due to LucasArts taking on way too many projects at the time. And unfortunately, they needed money as fast as they could, so they scrapped the games that would have taken too much money and would have taken too long to make. So the Star Wars Battlefronts 1 and 2 survived, Republic Commando survived, and I believe Star Wars Episode 3, the video game, survived, which I like those games. They're great, they're solid. But it's just unfortunate that we never got a proper conclusion to the series, even though we really didn't almost like the sequel shouldn't have happened. But Obsidian was like, we really want to make a sequel to this, so they did. And now that there is a sequel, I would have liked to see an ending to it. I know that there's a online MMO that does have that does take place in the same universe and actually has Revan in it, but as much as I love that MMO, and I still think it's one of the better MMOs out there, no one's going to play that game to get the ending to this. We wanted a full, inclusive game, not an MMO-style finale. And those were my 6 games that should have gotten sequels, in my opinion, but didn't. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of this list, or what are some games that you thought should have gotten sequels, but didn't? What do you think of my choices? Let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you guys on the next video. Later.